Hi everyone, it is the 28th of August, and as you could tell it is very dark in here because today's the day that Hurricane Irene hit Connecticut, Long Island, Rhode Island, New York area. So the power got knocked out in some places, including Brantford. So yes, we are going to have a special video blog this time that involves me in the dark with my camping lantern. And yes, this is an old camping lantern. You know those really giant square batteries? It takes one of those, like the really, really big square batteries. So, yeah. Interesting times. Where you stay. There we go. August. August has been a much better month than July was, you know. Just was feeling really down July. In August I've definitely felt much better. So let's see, in August obviously I've still been working a lot and getting ready for school, and I went with my parents to a picnic like type thing, and all the money that like you paid at it like went to help find a cure for cancer. And that was kind of nice. It was outdoors and open bar and stuff, so it was kind of nice. We also went to Newport, which was fun, but kind of ended in a little bit in disaster because my mother ended up getting food poisoning. So, yeah, that wasn't exactly fun, but she didn't let it stop her, that's for sure. She was still out and going. That's my mother. We went to a party of ex-co-workers, which they usually throw really good parties, and they, you know, it was a really good party. But being one of the younger people there, and I'm not like young enough to be a child or old enough to be considered like a full adult, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of boring for me. So it was alright though, you know, but it was, she does pull off good parties. One of the highlights of this month is I went with my friend Deanna to see Rascal Flatts, performing with Sarah Evans and a few other people. Now, I'm not a huge fan of country music, but I just happen to have a shine towards Rascal Flatts. So, I've always wanted to go to a Flatts concert, and this was a great opportunity. It was cheap, you know, so obviously the view wasn't the best, but I got to hear the music and, you know, got to really experience going to a concert with a friend, which is very different than going with my parents. So it was really nice. I got to experience a little bit of tailgating, but not as much as we expected because we had some issues parking. But it was a great night, minus the fact that apparently at country concerts people like to pick fights. We had people right near us that were just like picking fights with everybody, and it was horrible. But eventually they ended up getting kicked out, so that's good. Kristen and I also went to magic class this month, to an aura class, which ended up being the most popular class that Sambina has ever had. We had 34 people show up to the class. She actually had to kick 3 people out because there wasn't enough room in the basement to fit everybody. And now she's re-administering the class in January on a Thursday because not everyone who wanted to go could go because of how crowded it got. So that was a huge thing for magic class to do so well. So that was a very happy night. And definitely the biggest highlight of this month. Kristen and I worked half a day one day, and we went to Mystic. We had a nice little lunch and walked around. It was a beautiful day for Mystic, so it was great. And then we went to Mohegan Sun because they were having, Hawthorne Heights was playing a free concert there. So, you know, we had dinner and walked around and played a couple machines, but nothing crazy. And then we go to the concert. And normally the Wolf Den, you know, you have to wait online to like sit in the arena because it's the free arena. So a lot of times you get stuck just, you can watch the band from the casino without being actually in the, where the stage is. But no line, just walked right in, and we had a table, like, not directly in front of the stage, but just a little bit back. There was like a table here, and then there was us. Really, it was like the best seats, because the table right in front of the stage, you're kind of too close, you're looking up like this, and this was just perfect, dead on. So we walk in, no problem, and they did phenomenal. I mean, I know a lot of people are nervous about seeing Hawthorne Heights live, or are upset because, I mean, obviously it's a shame that Casey passed away. But honest to God, Hawthorne Heights is still a really good band, even though Casey passed away. The guy who took his place still does good at screaming, and they did excellent live. But it gets even better. So, I bought their new demo, because they do their own music now. They left the recording studio and they produce their own music. And the guy, the lead singer, was like, come over here and, I'll sign CDs, we'll hug, we'll shake hands, it'll be great. So I bought the demo because, I wanted it anyway. And then, no joke, I expected it would be like an hour wait, 'cause I've never really done this sort of thing before, and usually it is a long wait, and that's why I've never done it. So, me and Kristen waited online. She ended up getting a copy of their set list, because the guy was like going to throw it out, and he's like, here, you want their set list? And Kristen's like, hell yes, I'll take that. And we only waited online for 10 minutes to actually meet the lead singer, and he signed an autograph on my CD, and he signed Kristen's set list, and he took a picture with both of us. It was amazing. Me and Kristen were so excited. We were like a bunch of giddy 13-year-olds. I can't even explain to you what that night was like. That was just one of the coolest things ever. So, that was a great thing to, have happen. And of course, last but not least, the hurricane, which I already told you, we have no power. And I would say that we were lucky, we were fortunate enough that we really have no issues besides the power going out. I mean, but we drove around town, and there were areas that were highly flooded, there were trees down, trees on houses, trees on cars. I mean, Irene did do some damage. I will say that. But I'm just happy that my family, we didn't really, the power being out, it sucks, but it could be so much worse. Honestly, I'm not even upset that the power's out. I mean, I'd like it to come back soon, but unfortunately, there's no real verdict on when it's coming back yet, and I've heard all sorts of rumors. I've heard it's 3 days, I've heard it could be a week, I heard it could be a couple weeks. So, that's still kind of up in the air, but I'll keep everyone updated. So, that has been August in a nutshell. Oh yeah, but one more thing. One awesome-ass thing about the about the power being out. I know, most people are going, awesome. What is awesome about not having power? When I went outside and I looked at the sky, you could see all the stars, and you could see them all perfectly. It's the most beautiful thing ever. I honest to God wish I could take this camera outside and be like, look! But I know it wouldn't show up, so it's a shame. I wish it would show up. And moving on to September. I don't think I know of too much happening in December, December, what? Oh, no. I did not just say December. No. I don't want to skip autumn. I mean, it's bad enough summer's ending. We're going to pretend I never said that. September. I don't know of too much happening in September, but we are going on another Newport trip this coming week because my parents are celebrating their 24th anniversary. And my and dad decided, instead of buying each other gifts that they probably wouldn't use anyway, that they'd rather go away. So we're doing that. And we're also taking a different trip. We're actually going to go to Massachusetts, because there's a zoo up there, which I think I went to when I was in middle school for a field trip. And I think the most memorable thing about this zoo is there's a place, a fenced off place that you go to, and you go in the fence, and the deer are running loose. You can pet them, you can feed them, they're just running loose, chilling with you. That is that's one of the most memorable things about it. But my mom's also excited because they have a rhinoceros, and she loves rhinoceros. Rhinoceroses remind her of dinosaurs. And besides that, school will probably be eating me. But it's all psych classes, so I'm excited at least that it's all in my major, and I'll learn lots of interesting things about analyzing people. Yes, because I need more of that. And of course, it's going to be autumn. Man, where does the year go? Not for nothing, we are more than halfway through this year. Actually, we're approaching 3/4 through this year. And I just remember it being the beginning and counting down the days to May and June, and now it's past and it's over. Weird. But, I think that's all I got. So, everyone take care, and anyone who was hit by the hurricane, stay safe, and I hope no one got hit too bad, and to all those who have some struggles, I definitely send out positive energy to you. So, peace out, everyone. Bye-bye.